Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Loncor Gold's channel on the forefront of a commodities renaissance. Joining us today is the Chief Executive Officer, John Barker. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, what a pleasure. Thanks.
A pleasure to have you, man. Just to kick off this new year, there is a lot going on within the market volatility right now. The Federal Reserve meeting. We're going to kind of broad view this conversation to start and then kind of narrow into what your projects are doing there for Q1 in the Congo. But I mean, first and foremost here, I mean, the Fed is really kind of dictating what seems to be going on with the gold price, because I think people should look back through history and realize that every single rate hike we've had for the last 5 times over the decades, every single time, 100% of the time, gold has gone up. And then as soon as the Fed doesn't surprise us with a rate hike, gold comes down. But this is still boding well heading into March when we know it's coming up. But do you have any insights into the commodity prices and the volatility of this market?
Okay, I think the subject's been beaten around quite a bit now. There's a couple of things, obviously, that's on the immediate horizon, that rate hike. And at some stage, we're going to continue to see, I think, that chart trending up. If you look at the base of gold, I think you're seeing that positive trend. It's building, it's just retracting, it's building. It's a pretty strong looking chart that's going on there. And we certainly hope that that's going to continue. And of course, geopolitical tensions are usually positive for gold too. So it may not be as dramatic in the short term because of they just holding off on the rate rise, but we still see a positive. And I think the flip side of that too is where companies such as ours are, whilst you've seen this increase, and which of course should be good for our stocks, you haven't really seen much reaction yet. So I'd like to think there's still a real opportunity to get involved in the junior sector as things are slowly but surely warming up with that progressive rise in the gold price.
Yeah, there's a lot of bull sentiment setting up because a lot of the mining companies kind of are getting sold off in this micro cap sector, especially within the juniors, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because the profitability has gone through the roof even since gold has been holding this $1,800 price target, right? So I feel like there's a lot of good sentiment setting up for this year, but kind of focusing in there too, because all this interest rate discussion is driven obviously by hyperinflation, a lot of the logistics problems. There's still a lot of pandemic fears going on in different countries. Are you guys being affected by this in the Congo at all? Is hyperinflation slowing you down, logistics problems, any of that?
Well, if we look at us, we're a relatively small operation. Whilst we've got a big project that's developing, and I'm sure we're going to touch on it in a minute, it's a small group of people that's done it. So with that, of course, it means we haven't got a lot of moving parts to be impacted. The sort of things you can look at would be the time to get your cores transported through the borders, where COVID issues have hit because of the amount of paperwork that's required, and then getting them returned to you again, hitting the border. There's been some delays there. So things are a little slower, but we managed to hit most of our targets in the last 12 months and shifted our project from a sort of middle of the road to a really moving into a high profile project. So touch wood for us in our situation currently, it hasn't been a major impact. The flip side is we just done a PEA, and of course, looking forward from a scoping study, we've had to be conservative. So we, for example, included 20% contingency in there, but as we stand at present on the ground, it's not impacting us.
Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, and indulge us here. Talk about these projects, kind of the blue sky events going on down there in the Congo, and just kind of how you see yourselves moving through Q1.
Yeah, look, I joke with people, we were COVID, baby. And people are slowly but surely starting to see pictures of us, but no one's actually been down to the ground there and tickle us under the chin, as it were. And back in the beginning of 2020, when there was huge concerns about what was going to unfold with COVID, we had a project in the northeast of the Congo, 1.33 million ounces. Now, that's an okay project. But since then, we've taken it to 3.66 million ounces through that period. So significant growth, and that's all within a pit. And the other side of the equation is not just the size of the project in ounces, but the economics. And we've been really fortunate with that too. We've got a grade, it's likely to be around 2.2 grams a ton in the pit, which is about 1 gram a ton, higher than the majority of our peer group through the West and East Africa. So we're really developing something dramatic there in the Northeast. And I think for those people who don't really know that area, one thing to take away is on our doorstep, 130 miles away, is a Barrick control project called Kibali. Now, this is not just any gold mine. It's the 5th largest gold mine in the world, the largest in Africa. So we've got big gold miner, on our doorstep. So there we are, developing a big project dramatically. We still haven't touched underground, where we are hoping to do some work. And we're in a jurisdiction that already has significant gold production and has had for the last 8-9 years.
Now, you were just mentioning as well the PEA that just came out to offer some valuation into what you guys have going on there. Do you want to just really touch on that as well?
Yeah, only 5 weeks ago, we put all of those ounces, 3.66 million ounces inferred and indicated, into a PEA, got an independent group to do it, a world-renowned group. And the results came out middle of December. And at current gold prices, we're trading, about 1760 currently. It puts a value of $900 million post-tax on our project. We've got 85% of it. So let's say around $750 million. Our market cap, $67 million. So we're trading about 8% of that attributable value. And you can look at it in many different ways, but here we are with so many positive things close by, and yet we're getting no value in our stock. So that's obviously my job over the next 6 months or so, is to tell the story, how undervalued we are, and the quality of the assets, and how we're going to grow. And hopefully investors will start to appreciate the story.
That's incredible. On that note, John, I definitely appreciate you coming out today. Thanks for these insights.
Thanks.
And on that note, folks, if you have any questions, let us know what you think in that comment section below about the commodities market, Loncor Gold. And if you want to get that news as it comes down the wire, consider subscribing for those future updates. But stay cool, stay awesome, and I look forward to catching you in the next one.